Hello again. I'm afraid I've done another stupid thing and caused a crash which didn't have to happen. I'm not setting out to be stupid and do this, but as I did it, I thought it's worth mentioning what I did because there's a bunch of default values which you might have in your quad and not think about it. Let's have a look at what happened first. So we're out for an evening fly in the field. I'd already done a bunch, had a couple of little crashes and messing around. I decided this time just to go up high, have a nice look around and maybe just glide on down again. So this is me going up, and what I did when I got up the top, aside from looking around and having a look at the view, was to put the throttle right down and just let myself float, and then decide to turn inverted and do the same. But as you can see, what happens when I went to inverted is it decides my flight's done. The quad's actually disarmed itself. I'm thinking at this point, not a problem, I'll rearm, it'll be fine, but nothing reacted to the arming thing, so boom, down it came. So as I said, I tried to rearm the quad when I saw it disarm, and kept calm and did my stick movement and nothing happened. I was really lucky that this quad is balanced enough that when it was falling downwards, it stayed very well balanced and acted like a little bit of a windbreak, so it didn't come down quite as hard. As you can see, looking at which bit's going to hit first, it was this camera, and unfortunately my new Firefly Q6 didn't cope that well, and this LCD, or the OLED, got smashed inside. Pictures just here. It still records, but I can't look at the setting or anything like that, and it also ejected the memory card when it hit. So I've got no HD footage of that crash. So I had an inkling of what happened, but I set out just to double check what I thought was happening in my garden using the quad to see if I could recreate the conditions. Okay, so arming noise, disarm noise. So I'm going to arm, put into air mode, then put the throttle down whilst holding it. Wouldn't recommend you normally hold it, but there we go. Well, actually. So that's air mode on. Armed. So throttle up. Throttle all the way down. One beep. And disarmed. Now not armed anymore. So let's try that again. So we're up. Throttle down to do something. Blah blah blah. That's our one. It seemed to have like a warning beep. And disarmed. That's pretty scary. So do one more time because I want to try and rearm. So arming. Taking off. Disarmed, try and rearm. It just does a bit, but doesn't rearm. That's interesting. And that's where it went wrong. So I couldn't rearm it. On the floor, fine. Upside down? No. Oh no. Turn it off. Unless you're level, forget arming. Now we know. So, in my head, I'd thought in air mode the automatic motor stop wouldn't actually take effect. It would seem quite useful that if you're in air mode, then you don't want the motors to stop if your throttle's all the way down. But if you're in normal mode, you do want that. That's kind of a safety feature. Several times it's been a sort of case of, when it's gone down, it's switched itself off, and that's not a bad thing. On this, either you need to have the throttle a bit higher, or you need to disable the motor stop feature, which I kind of quite like, but I'll have to sort something out for it. In much the same way, I can understand why arming is disabled when the quad is not flat and level. It just, in this particular case, it didn't help me out. So it's kind of like they thought about it in one sense, but almost not in the other. If you're thinking, well, duh, that was obvious, then, you know, stupid me. To be fair, I've always had all my quads like that, but it's, even with air mode, normally when you're flipping or even going with a bit of a hang upside down, you're not going for over 5 seconds. It's just a case that I have to be very high, and it's like, look at me, I'm going to hang down, and just, the idea was just to go all the way down and then come out at the last minute. But hey, I crash these things, so you don't have to. So make sure you don't do that with your quads. Meantime, I'm going to see if it's possible to replace the OLED with the Firefly people. Fingers crossed. See you.